The Digital Foundation has been involved in building communities and improving the lives of the people that we love in Trinidad and Tobago since 2012. One of those particular communities would be those with special needs. Within recent years, we've seen the impact of climate change on the environment, and we recognized after research that persons with special needs did not have the necessary training to equip them with disaster preparedness skills. An intervention was necessary. We approached partners to work with us to ensure that we were able to meet this need, to bridge that gap. We approached the Office of Disaster Preparedness Management and the UNDP.
This is a national issue. Persons with disabilities and all the needs and the actions that we need to implement around it. I mean, I'm not speaking about climate change, I'm speaking about the basic needs for persons with disabilities. It's a huge issue that the UNDP is passionate about. As a country, we need to recognize that climate change is a real threat.
We can understand that this is basically and fundamentally reducing risks.
Both organizations readily came on board. The ODPM offered us training in terms of capacity building for the trainers, while the UNDP offered us funding through Australian AGEF Small Grants Program.
So what it shows?
A flashlight.
A flashlight, all right.
For persons with disabilities, so they're a vulnerable group, and therefore you need to put special attention to understanding what are their needs, and therefore how we can best achieve those needs and integrate them into the plans that we're going to, the adaptation plans for climate change.
This particular project was a pilot project that we engineered in 5 schools. The schools were chosen in the most vulnerable areas in southeast Trinidad.
The schools involved in this project are the Lady Ho Choi Center in Gasparillo, the Lady Ho Choi Center in Penal, Serval Happy Venture, Pointe-a-Pierre Special School, and the Rio Claro Learning and Development Center. This work directly impacted over 200 persons in the central and southern regions and focused on assessing vulnerability, building capacity, strengthening disaster management frameworks, and sharing information.
What do you see when there's a fire?
Smoke.
Smoke. Who said smoke?
Christine.
Christine. Very good. And what else do we see?
To achieve the goals of this initiative, the project was divided into 3 phases. Phase 1 and Phase 2 focused on building capacity within the students and the teachers of the schools participating in this project. A teacher training workshop and student training sessions were facilitated by the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management and the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service.
Excellent. So you have to remember that when you go outside to use the extinguisher, that PASS, P-A-S-S, that's the correct method to use to put out a fire using a fire extinguisher.
These sessions use therapy-based tools and techniques and puppet shows to convert the lessons learned from the disaster management workshops into easily understood bites that the children could digest.
Well done. Now, man, I'll give my round of applause, man. Yeah.
In Phase 3, the project focused on strengthening the disaster management frameworks of each school. The overall upgrade included egress indicators, emergency lighting, fire extinguishers, and alarm systems. 3 vulnerability reduction assessments were conducted throughout the life of this project. 1 at the beginning, 1 in the middle, and 1 at the end. In the end, due to the activity of this project, the teachers felt better able to respond to the occurrence of natural disasters. They also felt that the children were better able to identify and respond to each threat accordingly.
As a result of this exercise, a much needed database has since been created, which means that the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management can now readily lend assistance to persons with special needs in the event of a natural or man-made disaster.
Our school are prone to many hazards. It's a flood-prone area where there are always storms, tropical storms that we need to look out for. It's prone to hurricane, earthquakes, and taking part in this workshop, it went in depth into showing us, what we need to put in place to deal with such emergencies.
The key elements of this scientific and evidence-based analysis of why we need to do this comes from the International Sendai Agreement, or the Sendai statements that were made in Sendai, Japan in 2015, as well as SIDIMA in 2014, where in the Caribbean we have agreed to include the private sector as a major component of our planning for disaster risk management. Now, this is not just a mandate, it's based on scientific evidence that a country like Trinidad and Tobago stands to lose quite a lot of our capital investment in our country in terms of where we have reached economically, socially, and infrastructurally, environmentally. We stand to lose so much if we don't engage the private sector. Now, because of that, we would find like a company where you have, for example, like Digicel with the foundation, where you have a corporate platform which allows you to engage many elements of the society, many communities, in an easier fashion that we would have to do or could do at the public sector level. This is even more imperative because you have a more simple and easy touch with communities and households via your products and via your foundation's platform.
The project that we've just almost completed with Digicel Foundation is one that the Jeff Small Grants program is extremely proud of. I mean, we speak about it, we give it as an example project, because not only did they achieve the objectives of the project, but they were also very successful in bringing in national stakeholders and putting a magnifying glass on this very, very important issue.
More and more, we've recognized that partnerships are very important if we really are going to make a difference to communities. I've mentioned before that the ODPM came on board and offered technical expertise, while the UNDP offered us funding. There were also two very important partnerships through the Fire Service and the Disaster Management Unit. These organizations did not hesitate to be a part of this particular pilot program, and I really want again to say a special thank you to them. We could not have gotten this far without them, and we really do count this particular pilot program a success because of their contribution.
I'm prepared.
We are prepared. I am prepared.
I am prepared.
We are prepared.